We always hear or see the conduct of Senate committee hearings on various forms of media, in television, radio, print, or social media. But have we once asked how crucial communication is in these kinds of settings? In my study titled The Level and Nature of People's Participation in Senate Committee Hearings, I aim to answer these two theoretical inquiries. I aim to describe the said theoretical problems by first discussing the communication processes being undertaken in a committee hearing and by describing the level and nature of participation in a Senate committee inquiry. Later on, I will discuss how my theoretical framework will guide me on achieving my objectives. But before that, I will share with you my review of related literature. These are just some of the books I read in coming up with my RRL. I divided my RRL into 3 sections. The first section tackles the relationship of development and communication and how these two interrelated concepts are embedded in the objective of Senate committee hearings. To provide an avenue for legislators and stakeholders to communicate, interact, and come up with an agreement on policies catered to benefit the society. The second section discusses the concept of participatory development and how it genuinely involves the grassroots sector in achieving development. And the last section embarks on the role of development communication in policymaking and shares how people's participation has been instrumental in the hearing and crafting of laws. Now let's proceed with my theoretical framework. The Nair and White model proposes transactional communication and describes it as a dialogue wherein sender and receiver of messages interact over a period of time to arrive at shared meanings. It describes transactional process as a two-way persuasion process where the development communicator and target group are expected to talk over their differences, giving and talking, and finally arriving at a consensual agreement. This model has this typology matrix, which will help me identify the level of participation, whether a participant engages in high, quasi, or low level of participation. Meanwhile, in this model, the nature of participation can be either one of the 9 subcells, as can be seen in the boxes. The transactional nature is said to be the ideal nature of participation, as there is an equal level of participation coming from the target group and the development communicator. Now, how do I intend to gather and analyze my data? For this study, I choose to employ the case study research design as it will allow me to examine a particular real-life event such as committee hearings. This will also provide me more freedom as a researcher to select my sources and means to verify my data. For the data gathering, I decided to employ participant observation. Given my access to committee hearings as a Senate staff, this will enable me to establish rapport with my key informants through formal and informal interviews. And since this is a qualitative research, I intend to analyze texts from the interviews I conducted and from the structured notes I collected from my observations. Thank you very much for watching my video presentation. Constructive comments are warmly welcomed. And for your reference, here's the list of my sources. Thank you very much and God bless.